Garlic, onions, leeks, and chives are not just delicious. These flavorful alliums can lower your risk of cancer, diabetes, heart disease, while improving bone strength and sleep. So stick around to learn why just a few servings per week of these kitchen staples can improve your health so much. Hit me, Producer Potts.
Why are Alliums a Nutrivore Foundational Food?
Alliums, also known as the onion family, are a nutrient-dense group of vegetables that all tend to be very high in beneficial fiber types, vitamins B6 and B9, also known as folate, vitamin C and vitamin K, manganese, potassium, copper, and iron. They're packed with phytonutrients, including carotenoids and polyphenols. But the super special thing that they have that elevate them to Nutrivore Foundational Food status is a class of phytonutrients called thiosulfonates. Thiosulfonates protect against cancer through several biological pathways, including modulating the activity of enzymes that are important for detoxifying carcinogens from the body, and through directly impacting cancer cell survival. Plus, thiosulfonates affect cholesterol metabolism, lowering cardiovascular disease risk. And there's also associations between thiosulfonates and lower risk of diabetes and Alzheimer's disease. And because we can't get thiosulfonates from any other food, that's why Alliums are Nutrivore Foundational Foods.
What are the health benefits of Alliums?
There are so many, but let's start with the cancer prevention benefits because those are some of the most compelling reason to eat alliums regularly. A 2022 meta-analysis that compared high versus low allium intake showed that high allium intake reduced risk of breast cancer by 30%. A 2014 meta-analysis showed that high allium intake reduced risk of colorectal cancer by 22% and colorectal adenomatous polyps by 12%. A 2005 study showed that high allium intake reduced risk of endometrial cancer by 24%. A 2011 meta-analysis showed the risk of gastric cancers dropped by 46%. For lung cancer, we have a couple of case control studies looking at garlic specifically, with a 2013 study showing that higher garlic consumption reduced risk of lung cancer by 21%. A 2021 systematic review showed that high allium consumption reduced the risk of ovarian cancer by 21%. A 2013 meta-analysis showed the risk of prostate cancer drops by 18% for high allium consumers. A 2016 meta-analysis showed a 21% reduced risk of squamous cell carcinoma of the upper aerodigestive tract. And a 2022 meta-analysis showed a 14% reduced risk of non-digestive tract cancers. And that's not all. Eating alliums regularly also reduces risk of cardiovascular disease. A 2020 systematic review showed that high allium consumption compared to low reduced risk of cardiovascular disease mortality by 67%, risk of coronary heart disease mortality by 33%, and risk of stroke by 11%. Alliums improve glycemic control in people with type 2 diabetes. A 2017 meta-analysis that looked specifically at garlic showed that it lowered fasting insulin levels as well as hemoglobin A1C. And a 2010 trial in people with both type 1 and type 2 diabetes found that consuming 100 grams of raw red onion significantly reduced blood sugar levels 4 hours after eating. We also have studies showing that onions and garlic are great for bone health. A 2009 study in women over the age of 50 showed that eating onions at least daily was associated with a 5% increase in bone density compared to eating onions once per month or less. And a 2017 randomized controlled double-blind clinical trial in postmenopausal females with osteoporosis found that taking garlic tablets daily for a month reduced markers of oxidative stress associated with osteoporosis. There's some evidence that alliums can improve cognitive health, although we definitely want more studies here. For example, a 2015 placebo-controlled clinical trial showed that 5 weeks of a garlic supplement led to improvements in visual memory and attention. A 2021 randomized controlled clinical trial in elderly adults showed that 6 months of an onion supplement helped to prevent cognitive decline. And a 2023 analysis showed that higher onion intake was associated with a 27% reduced risk of depressive symptoms. And another cool way that alliums benefit our health that we definitely want more studies to confirm is improving our sleep. A 2020 randomized controlled crossover clinical trial in adults who were dissatisfied with their sleep found that just 5 days of an onion supplement reduced the amount of time it took them to fall asleep, significantly improved their sleep quality, including entering deep sleep, and reduced markers of stress. And of course, eating alliums regularly just makes us healthier overall. As measured by all-cause mortality, an indirect way to measure overall health and longevity. A 2017 meta-analysis showed that eating 100 grams of alliums daily reduced risk of all-cause mortality by 24%. But we don't even need to eat that much to see a benefit. A 2020 study showed that just half a serving of alliums per day decreases risk of cardiovascular disease by 21%.
How much of them do we have to eat to gain these health benefits?
I think when we look at this collection of studies, a really strong case can be made for aiming for at least 3 servings of alliums per week. A serving for garlic is just 1 tablespoon. So that's about 3 cloves, or 1 clove for elephant garlic. A serving for chives is a 1/4 cup. That's about what would fit in the palm of your hand. And a serving for other alliums is 1 cup measured raw and chopped, which shrinks substantially when you cook them. Depending on how long you cook your onions or shallots or leeks, they can shrink to anywhere between a 1/4 cup and a 1/2 cup once cooked.
Can you give us some examples of alliums?
Absolutely. There aren't as many to choose from in the grocery store, especially compared to a vegetable family like root vegetables or leafy vegetables or cruciferous vegetables. But fortunately for us, alliums are really ubiquitous in recipes. So even though there's not as many to choose from, you're going to find something like onions or garlic in many different recipe options. So all varieties of onions and garlic count here. And some other alliums that you might be able to find at the grocery store include chives, green onions / spring onions / scallions, shallots, and leeks. And if you're shopping at your farmer's market in the spring, look out for ramps, which are like a wild leek. And if you're interested in more information about why alliums are amazing, check out my book, Nutrivore, available wherever books are sold and super discounted on Amazon right now. And if you'd like more information on all 12 Nutrivore Foundational Food families, their nutrients, their health benefits, and what counts, then check out my ebook, Nutrivore Foundational Foods, which you can find at nutrivore.com/shop.